Genesis 15:18, God says, I will give you the land from the river of Egypt to the Euphrates. And there's a whole lot of discussion whether or not that's really going to happen. Whether it's going to, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, blah, blah, blah. I think if Ezekiel 36, 37, and 38 will answer that very clearly.
Pastor Jeff, as you hear what he's reading and reading through, what's your thoughts on this? Do you think that those passages somehow fulfill that?
Well, I think this is future.
Yes, agreed.
Because we know for sure that Israel has never settled. They've never incorporated into their official geographical boundaries all the land that God has promised. Not to this day have they done it. There's large tracts of land like the territories northeast of the Sea of Galilee, all the way to the Euphrates, the area populated by the Philistines. There were yet places populated by the Philistines and other Canaanite peoples that they never conquered. So to this day, they have not conquered and taken and possessed everything God promised. So I believe Ezekiel 36, 37, 38, and 39, all of this is future. And so it's sort of like when do you place, for instance, the Ezekiel war? He was mentioning Ezekiel 38. That is the infamous Ezekiel war that has never happened in history. What God describes through Ezekiel in 38 and 39 has never taken place in any historical setting at all. So it is yet to come. My understanding is that the land God promised will ultimately and finally be possessed by Israel after Christ has returned. And so the Ezekiel war will have taken place, and things like that are yet future, but right now they haven't possessed it. So I have to think that 36, 37, 38, and 39 are all future, and God is for sure going to bring his promises to pass, his land promises, but I don't believe it'll be fully realized until Christ has returned. Then it will be fully realized. So I hope that helps, Rick, because if I'm reading you right, you're wondering if these things are yet future, and I believe they are.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I believe that they are in the future, and I believe that certainly during the millennial reign of Christ, I mean, ultimately, let's face it, there's going to be a new Jerusalem. There's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. So although they haven't fully, here's the other thing that I think Rick did a great job of doing, by connecting Genesis 15 to Ezekiel 36. I mean, he's seeing that, he's drawing the lines through the Bible. And I love that you study the word in that way, Rick, that you're drawing the lines, you're seeing the connections, you're understanding it, that some of these things are yet in the future. And we're going to see the fulfillment of this. I mean, it's going to be, if God said it, in other words, Jeff, God's going to do it. It's just a matter of time. His timing is not our timing, but ultimately all of the land that God promised to them, it will be theirs, specifically, as you said, when he returns, establishes his kingdom, the millennial reign. It's not going to be in question any longer, but it is yet in the future.